MS20 patch video here. So this one is a cross between a sort of a squelchy sound and almost a human voice. So I'll let you listen to it first and then I'll explain it. So that's pretty fun. So I'll go over the patch panel first. So the headphones are going into the external signal processor, and then the frequency to voltage CV out from the external signal processor is going into the VCO2 CV in, over here. The envelope out of the external signal processor is going to the in on the modulation VCA, and the trigger out on the external signal processor is going into the trigger in, just triggering the patch. And in the modulation VCA, again, we've got the in from that going out from the envelope of the external signal processor. The out of the modulation VCA is going to voltage-controlled oscillator 2. The control input for the modulation VCA is the reverse output of the envelope generator 1. And the regular out of the envelope generator 1 is going into the EG1 trigger in. So the envelope generator 1 is kind of looping back on itself, and it turns it basically into an LFO. And the reverse out of envelope generator 2 is controlling the high-pass filter. And I think that's it for the patch panel. This patch is very sensitive to how your settings are on the external signal processor. In particular, the high cut frequency and the CV adjust have a drastic effect on the sound. But this sound is pretty much, you're trying to make a bandpass filter with the high-pass filter and the low-pass filter, and then you make them resonant, not like so resonant that they scream, but enough that when you sweep them together with slightly different modulation depths, you get kind of that squelchy vocal sound that we all love so much. So I'm going to turn the sound back on, and I'm going to tweak some of the external signal processor things at first, and then I'll move on to other knobs and show you what they do. So here goes. See, right at 6 we're just getting kind of noisy sweeps, but then as I move it up just a smidge, there's that sort of squelch. And this is me adjusting the high cut frequency. And this is me adjusting the low cut and the sustain. So as you can see, the external signal processor is a large chunk of this sound, but now I'm going to move over to the filter modulation here, and we're getting just a smidge of filter movement from the modulation generator. It's set just below 1 on its speed, and so we're getting a bit of frequency modulation from that, and then also the filter mod as well. So I'm going to adjust those parameters a little bit. So those as well have a large effect on the sound. And remember that whenever you patch something into the high-pass filter or the low-pass filter, the knobs over here change. So you see on the high-pass filter, for example, it says EG2/external. So when there's nothing patched into the panel, it will use the envelope generator 2 to modulate the high-pass filter. But seeing as we have the reverse out of envelope 2 into there, then this knob basically becomes a modulation depth for the reverse of envelope generator 2. Whereas the low-pass filter doesn't have anything patched into it, so it's going to be controlled by the regular envelope generator 2. So this is also how we get both filters being affected by the same envelope, but doing slightly different things. And seeing as that's true, the sustain level and the decay and the release and the attack of envelope generator 2 are also going to have a pretty substantial effect on the sound, so I'm going to tweak that a little bit now and show you what happens. So this is me tweaking the sustain right now. And now, seeing as we have the out of the modulation VCA going to control the voltage controlled oscillator 2, whenever I bring in the variable pulse of oscillator 1, you'll hear another second sound sort of scream in over the top, which is kind of interesting. And because our, what was I going to say? Oh, right, the envelope generator 1, seeing as the reverse of that is the control input for the modulation VCA, which is affecting the voltage of oscillator 2, when that sort of screaming is coming from, where is it? Well, it's coming from the envelope out of the external signal processor, but then that's also being modulated, or being controlled, that is, by the reverse out of the envelope generator. So I'm going to bring in that sort of screamy sound, and then I'm going to modulate envelope generator 1, and you can see how it affects the sound. So, yeah, I hope you enjoyed the patch, and there'll be many more to come. Cheers.